Greetings, thank you for joining me today. Hope wherever you are, life is treating you well. Now, what makes really good customer service? Well, it's hard to define, isn't it? But, listening to your customers is one of those, and reacting to complaints is another. So my hope with this video is that if I complain, it's added to the wall of complaints about the same issue that you can find on YouTube. And maybe something will be done at some point in the future. Now, here in the UK, we have a system. So if you own a vehicle, if you are the registered keeper of a vehicle, then your information goes on the database. So if you are caught speeding or doing something else dangerous, driving whilst you're out on the roads, a camera can take a picture without anyone needing to be there. A camera can take a picture and you can be fined later on, or worse, as the case may be. I have no problem with that system, or because it keeps us safe. That's what it's designed for. It is also a piggy bank for other things. Variable speed limits is a piggy bank that funds local authorities. It's well acknowledged, and I'm not so good with that, as you might have imagined. But there is a third way this system can cost you. A third way, as far as this video is concerned. I'm sure there are others. Lots of supermarkets will use grubby little companies to monitor their supermarket car park to make sure people don't spend too long in there, or to make sure the parking's okay. Now, in fairness, there are a lot of people who park like dicks, who need to be tackled. But the thing is, in the old days, a supermarket with a certain amount of parking spaces would have a member of staff who was on site in the car park, going around tackling customers or people who are using the car park and abusing the system. Because not every business in the vicinity may have parking spaces for staff. So a lot of people will park in a supermarket car park and think they'll get away with it because often they can, often they do, and they'll just spend all day at work and then come back to the car. They've never used the shop, which is a bit rude, isn't it? But this is what the system was there to tackle. In the old days, somebody would tackle you face to face when you finally turned up for your car. You'd stick stickers on it. If people were really abusing the system, they deserve to be tackled in a gentle way. But more recently, of course, because that database of DVLA database of car registrations is now open to private companies to page to ask for information. Who's this car? You can be caught on camera as you go into the car park and caught when you leave, and they can tackle you later and send you a fine. And again, if people are abusing the car park, I don't have a problem with that, because a supermarket's got to defend its parking spaces. Otherwise, it's just going to get full up with office workers, people who aren't using the store, and that's not profitable, is it? But Tesco Extra Dudley, to be specific. Now, Tesco, one of the main players in the UK, has a number of different shops, different sizes, for different locations. In Wolverhampton, we have 2 Tescos. We've got the Tesco Metro, as you call it, which is very small, doesn't have enough staff, and you have to park in one of the local multi-storey car parks to visit that shop. One option. We also have a slightly larger one where they have their own parking on site. Larger still. It has restrictions. And then we have the Tesco Extra, which is on the next town over in Dudley, which is a really, really large building. I'm talking a little bit larger than the average Texan Walmart. If you're outside the USA, it's a very big shop. Some people would look at it. I've worked there at one point. Some people would look at it, look at the shop, go, that's too big for me. And they would get in a car and go, because that's how big the shop is. You think you're in for a long shopping trip when you go to Tesco Extra Dudley. It stands on stilts. There's parking underneath. There's parking all around. There's usually more than enough parking to go around no matter what you're driving. Now, the wife and I, we went there just before Christmas. And we went later in the evening to avoid the crowds because we don't move that fast. And we want to take our time. It's a big shop and you want to look at everything. The shops are designed to keep you in as long as possible, to get you to go in for your core things you know you went in for, and a whole bunch of other things you haven't considered. So we expect to spend a couple of hours there. Now, the signs in the car park, which are visible easily in the daylight, they say something to the effect of spend up to 3 hours without us having a go at you, because that's a reasonable amount of time to take when you go to Tesco Extra. What they don't say so clearly is that there are other that those hours are qualified. So they work from opening hour until about 7 in the evening. And after that point, don't quote me on this, after that point, they want you to spend a little less time in Tesco. I think it comes down to an hour and a half. Now, it's not very clear from the signs, and you don't go looking for them in the dark. When you come in late at night, we're just going to spend as long as we spend, as long as we're not there after closing, really. Who's it hurting? And we went in, we did our shop, we came home and thought nothing of it until a couple of weeks later, when we get a letter from Horizon Parking, who monitor the car park's cameras. There's no staff outside because they are cheap and they don't want to employ anybody to monitor the car park like they used to. They just monitor it with these cameras and hope for the best and send you fines. So we were there. We went in at we went in at 2100 hours and we came out at 2309. So yes. So 2 hours and 9 minutes we were in there. That includes the time we spent getting out of the car and getting back in the car and putting all the things in the boot. Not bad going considering we did a big Christmas shop. You know, not bad going considering there was cages in the aisles of stock that we had to walk around, so we couldn't just walk from one to the other. It was mostly unobstructed, but it was still not like when you go earlier in the day. You can't just rush your Tesco trip. That, by the way, that Tesco has its own cafe and a Timson's to get your shoes sorted and a pharmacy. A whole bunch of reasons you could spend longer than an hour and a half easily in that shop at any time. So we thought nothing of it. But then we get a fine. We get a fine because we spent a little bit over our time, over an hour and a half, clearly, you know, because we were in there 2 hours and 9 minutes. We got a fine. They wanted to charge us £70 for the privilege of parking there longer, late at night. For the privilege of spending our money, £70. £40 if you pay within 14 days. I don't think private companies should have access to that database. You know, if they don't have the balls to employ somebody to be there all the time while the shop is trading and tackle people who are being antisocial, then they don't deserve to do this. You know, it's no reason why they should be able to do this at all. I only imagine it's a money-making exercise on behalf of the DVLA, I should imagine. I would love to see an end to that.